All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Heather Grant. I'm one of the community admins in the maintenance community by Upkeep. Thank you for making the time to be here with us today. If you are not already a member of the maintenance community on Slack, we would love to have you join us. I will drop the link on how to sign up in the chat in just one moment. Today, I have Scott Stukel with me joining for a presentation on what is the SMRP and why should you join a chapter. The recording from our session today will be available at this link right after we end our session, as well as in the maintenance community on Slack tomorrow, along with a copy of the slides that you see here today. Scott himself is also available to answer questions live in the Slack group, so please feel free to share the recording of this webinar or the invitation to Slack directly with friends, colleagues, or anyone else you know who would benefit from hearing some of Scott's expertise. My last piece of housekeeping, and then we'll go ahead and get started. You'll notice that your cameras and microphones are not turned on today. So what you want to do if you have any questions for Scott or to answer any questions of him along the way, you'll use that chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen there. Go ahead and drop your questions in throughout the presentation or towards the end. We'll have some time set aside afterwards to answer as many questions as we can. But anything we don't get to during our time live, we will answer in the community offline. That's it for me. Thank you, Scott, for being here. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. And I will turn it over to you, Scott, to get us started.
Thank you, Heather, very much for the intro. Hi, everybody. My name is Scott Stukel, and I'm here to talk about the SMRP, the Society for Maintenance and Reliability Professionals. And for those of you who don't know what it is or anything about a chapter, I'm going to kind of get into that. But it's an organization that I've been with for quite a while, and I'm happy to be participating and be a member of a steering team that's actually standing up a new chapter. So hopefully that you'll get some good information. And if you're not a member already, I hope you join. And if you're a member of SMRP and want to join the chapter, then maybe consider ours as well, or one in your local area. So again, my name is Scott Stukel. I first joined SMRP in, I think it was 1996 when I was working for NASA. I've been a CMRP since 2008. I finally took that exam, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But specifically, I'm a member of the inaugural SMRP NorCal chapter, which is there are very few chapters in the Western United States. So we got together, a number of us, and decided to do that. And we actually are I submitted the final paperwork to SMRP today to get our chapter certified. So we're pretty excited about that. I'm owner and principal of White Elm Consulting, an asset management consulting firm. I've been in the industry for 32 years. My whole career has been in engineering, asset management, around maintenance, asset management, process engineering. I do consulting work. A lot of the work I do now is advisory work for asset management companies, strategy and best practices, and the best use of technology. In my practitioner world, I was an asset management engineering director. I was in NASA's Deep Space Network for a number of years, and a number of other organizations as well, as a senior staff engineer and RCM lead. And really the thing that people like to hear about the most is back in 2010, I engineered the world's largest Rice Krispies treat for a reality TV show on TLC, a charity reality show. So if you want to know more about that one, you can ping me offline or if we run out of questions. So it's a pretty fun thing. All right. So we're going to get into talking about SMRP and what is it and what do they do. The SMRP, and I'm not a representative, I'm not paid by them, it's just something that I believe in a lot. The Society of Maintenance and Reliability Professionals, they're a nonprofit professional society, and it was formed by practitioners. And in essence, for any trade association, is to get together and promote our own interest, our network, and share our experiences in reliability, asset management, maintenance. And in essence, with a goal to be able to create leaders and standalone folks that can walk and talk the asset management language. So facts by the numbers for SMRP, they were founded in 1992. Practitioners from 18 companies got together and said, we're going to form this organization. In 1993, they had their first conference. I think I went to my first one in 96 or 97. So they're always great conferences, really informative, and always get a lot out of them, a lot of good people to network with. They administered their first certified maintenance and reliability professional exam in 2000. There's roughly a little over 7,000 or 7,000 members worldwide of SMRP, and As opposed to a lot of the trade organizations, a lot of times the trade organizations are made up of all kinds of different folks with, whether they be vendors or things, other things like that. SMRP, even though we're made up of consultants and practitioners and everybody else, everybody for the most part that I've run into are folks that have lived in the asset management, maintenance, and reliability world for most of their career. So it's really, for me, it's a really good organization to really, get involved in and be able to share the experiences and have a lot of fun doing it. And, all of us geeks who love to talk asset management, we get together and do that. So another good thing about it is there's over 5,000 of the members of the 7,000. So a large percentage of the members have a CMRP, CMRT, or CAMA certification. So it is a place where folks can get together and actually get some, accolades and some credence behind their and our skill sets. So there's 21 active chapters in the United States. There's 20 in the United States. There's one in the Caribbean. And soon to be 22. I got the message today saying that our NorCal chapter is going to be, the last step is with them to in essence just give our final approval. So we're pretty excited about that. What does the SMRP stand for? So the mission of the SMRP is to just, I'll read it pretty much verbatim: develop and promote excellence in maintenance, reliability, and physical asset management. So if you're in one of those fields and you're on this call, then this is for you. If you're talking about, asset management from another perspective and or something else, then, still listen in because we got some good stuff. The vision of SMRP is to be the global leader for professionals to get together for maintenance, reliability, and physical asset management. Some of the values are, data-driven, specifically data and science-driven, the sharing and collaboration between our members and non-members. It's member-focused in the sense that, there's a lot of resources and certifications and things that are available for the members, and continuous improvement and growth, within our skills growth and our skill set expansion within the members and the community, the asset management, reliability community, accountability, integrity, trust and respect, and social responsibility, obviously. So, there's a lot of things, talks about sustainability, and a lot of talks about, different things and how asset management contributes to that. So there's a lot of different, facets to SMRP. So big question, title of a presentation, why join SMRP? Well, we have a network of over 7,000 members around the globe. So there's a lot of knowledge and experience in there. I couldn't even venture to add up the years. Personally, I'm at 32 years, my whole career doing this, and there's a lot of folks that I know that have many, many more than that. SMRP maintains a library and body of knowledge. It's a lot of great documentation and videos and a lot of other things, webinars and presentations. Their metrics guide is great as a basis. If you're looking to develop metrics, their metric guide is pretty good. I know I've used it many times with clients, with myself, and I know a lot of folks who have done it as well. The fun stuff with SMRP hosted events, there's an SMRP conference in October. I have a little information on that later. There's professional certifications for you to be able to get some credence and some, put the little CMRP or CMRT or CAMA tag behind your name, as you see in the presentation. People notice that. Folks know what that is. And in this industry and in this environment, people know what that is. And it's a bond and a connection between folks that have kind of gone through it. There's a lot of shared interest groups specific to industries, focus areas, technology, IoT, a lot of different shared interest groups for more of a focused conversations and networking on specific topics that are important and near and dear to people in the asset management community. Lots of volunteer opportunities. So if you like to get involved and socialize and help other people, there's a lot of opportunities, both at the conferences within chapters and then just in the communities. So the SMRP exchange is something that's I don't know how long it's been around. It's been around, I think, a couple of years where it's a forum and an exchange where they upgraded it a few years ago, and it's really there's a lot of great information, people and experts that share their experiences, a place to ask questions, and really. Really get out there and kind of network on a basis where I think, there's an inundation of social media and connection there, but that's one of the areas that's specifically focused on the stuff that's important to us. And the other thing, through chapters, we can meet other local members, have local events, and have more of a local focus on asset management. So that's why join. There's a lot of, there's a lot of reasons there. If you have any specific questions on any of those, we can bring those up in the chat. So a couple just items, more informational items. The 29th annual conference, SMRP conference, is October 25th through 28th. And that's, again, it's a great thing. I'll be there. I've been to many of them over my career. I'm actually speaking. I'm doing an 8-hour workshop the first day, and then I'm speaking in another session. So I always like to be able to share my experience on, on asset management. Actually, my workshop is on, taking strategy and how do you take asset management strategy and get it to the ground. So there's a lot of presentations. So pretty much if you have some type of a topic area that you're interested in, you'll find it there. And I believe it's I put the link up here, but it's a hybrid. I believe it's a hybrid conference. So if you're not able to travel within your limitations of or restrictions of your company or your organization, I believe it's a hybrid as well. So you might want to check that out. It's pretty. I found it as being a pretty effective and fun and good conference. So this is just an example of one of the artifacts. This is an excerpt from the best practice metrics document that's put together. So in essence, you see up in the upper left corner, these are just some of the metrics, and there's a whole bunch of them that are laid out for like unscheduled downtime, a subset of that, within the meantime between failures, and then within the document, they spell it out. They tell you the formula. They tell you what it means. And it's been something that's a collaborative effort. The body of knowledge is a collaborative effort between members and practitioners in the field. So there's a lot of really great stuff there. This is just one example. If you're interested in certifications, there's a number of certifications that are offered, the most popular being the CMRP, or Certified Maintenance and Reliability Professional. And it is the leading credential. You'll see it with a lot of practitioners. It's a leading credential within the world. There's CRL, which is another organization that has, CMRP, CRL. There's a lot of other, there's some facility management. But as far as specific SMRP, the CMRP credential is there. And it really certifies that you have, in essence, is more of a practical exam. It's not a theoretical exam. It's fairly, what I've seen is folks that have worked in the maintenance and reliability world, either come up through the ranks or been in the engineering side or been on plant floors. It's relatively straightforward, and most of them do very well at it. Folks that are maybe new to the field, or maybe haven't practiced it as much, then they still tend to do okay. But but if you've worked in that industry where you've done maintenance, you've done supervision of maintenance or engineering or things like that in there, it's usually pretty easy. I mean, I don't want to say that. I mean, somebody has had challenges with it, but it's a very practical exam, is most I can say about that. And it includes aspects of business and management, your manufacturing or your production process reliability, equipment reliability, and then some of the other components of organizational and work management, work management, things like that. It's an accredited certification, and like I said before, there's over 5,000 of us that have certifications within the CMRP role. The next one is this is more of a tactical certification, and this is for folks that are out in the field, the people that really get the work done. The most important folks out there that are getting things done, fixing things, troubleshooting, and more of the practices side of it, doing the preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance on the equipment. This is a credential program, for them. It focuses more on that tactical aspect, and that the technicians encounter. And then honestly, there's a lot of folks that are more in the asset management leadership world that this type of a certification becomes a little bit more difficult, because this wants the folks that have actually worked hands-on, getting the hands dirty and doing that. So troubleshooting, analysis, corrective maintenance. Final certification with SMRP is the CAMA, which is Certified Asset Management Assessor. And this, in essence, it was put together by a lot of international partners to really assess and certify individual skills to be able to audit other asset management programs. So, so folks that understand what it takes and the components and elements that it takes to have a good asset management program, this is for them. And they can go out, and a lot of times they'll go out and they'll help other folks by helping them either do self-assessments within their asset management program, or in some cases they'll actually perform assessments. I know there's a number of contractors and consulting companies out there that have certified asset management assessors, who will come in and help do that. So if that's interest for you, then it's out there as well. And all this information that I have, I didn't make up anything. None of this is Scott original material. It's all mostly, and you can find it on the SMRP website. And there's a lot of other information there. So you want to go to SMRP, or you can see any additional information. I think they have some things in the member side. I think there's some prep guides and maybe some practice tests and things like that. So I'm going to take a poll now. I want to find out, who's on the call. I can't actually see right now all the folks that are on this webinar, but I want to be able to take a poll, and I'm going to have Heather pop up a poll to ask everybody, are you a member of SMRP and a member of a chapter? Are you currently a member of SMRP but not a member of a chapter? Are you not a member of SMRP, but maybe you're interested in joining? Maybe that's why you're here. Or if you're not a member of SMRP and you're like, well, I don't really think I want to join at this time. So I want to be able to put that in. Heather, maybe if you do the results and then just tell me what they are, because again, I can't see.
Yep, totally. The poll is live over in the poll tab. So at the top of the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see chat, questions, and then polls. Go ahead and jump over to polls to answer.
Are they able to still see the presentation? Is this something that changes it? Okay. All right. So I'll keep going.
See both.
Okay. Then I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So that's me. I'm currently a member of SMRP and a member of a chapter. I'm an honorary member of the Kansas City chapter. They've helped us quite a bit in putting together, our chapter and getting some information and just, kind of showing us the ropes. So, and then I'm obviously a member of the new NorCal chapter. So hopefully all of you that are out there, if you're somewhere in the West, there's only one other chapter, and that's in the west of the Rockies. There's only one chapter that's in Arizona. So if you're anywhere other than Arizona, consider joining our chapter. So let's talk about chapters. That's a good segue in. So the SMRP chapters are more, so you have the trade organization, the SMRP organization at the top. Underneath that is all these different chapters that are more of a focused effort around, from a regional perspective, that are focused on promoting and advancing, again, the same mission as SMRP. And it's more at the local level, and things that really a lot of the chapters focus on are continuing education, networking opportunities, events, plant tours, and things like that. So what you can look forward to as a chapter member is having people within your own region, your own local, area, and getting together on those chapter meetings and talking about things that are important, not only the chapter and SMRP as a whole. The networking events to really just, and we all like networking events, especially nowadays. I think, being a consultant for a number of years, where my life is on planes and talking to people and being out in the field and helping people. It's been the last 18 months or 16 months has been pretty tough. So I'm looking forward to some more of that networking and bits now, and some other things that also benefits of being in a chapter or chapter purposes with the workshops and mentoring. So in essence, folks that are more experienced can mentor folks that are less experienced, or folks of us that are more experienced. We learn a lot from the folks that are less experienced. So there's a two-way mentoring and workshops. There's educational and career development sessions. There's a lot of different chapters will get together and have webinars and educational sessions and things like that. There's opportunities for you if you want to be able to get involved and practice your leadership skills and give back, truly give back by being a service. There's a lot of opportunities there, whether it be in a board or an officer position, or within a committee or a committee lead. So there's a lot of opportunities to be able to share and give back. Current chapters, we did a little graphic on where the current chapters are right now, and you can see there's only, you draw a line down the middle of the country. I think there's a newly formed, I have to double check this because they didn't do this. I was informed that there may be a newly formed Rocky Mountains one. So there's maybe one more that's in the Colorado region. I just got the email today saying that there was another chapter that was either recently just formed, or is forming. So it's getting better. And the West Coast, you can see, is significantly underserved, and we're hoping to not only get more SMRP members in the West, but also to to really truly get that Eastern focus away. And SMRP said that they're hoping that if we, that if the membership grows in the West, that they're hoping in the next few years to have a conference more out this way. So they'll probably start in the middle of the country maybe, but who knows if they'll get out this way. But the big blue one that's our new one. We're very proud of that we've spent the time on the new NorCal chapter, and we call it NorCal because we didn't want it to be just California. The folks that we kind of got together and did it were from Southern California and Nevada, so we said let's just put one in the middle, and SMRP said let's go with a Northern California name. But again, it's not, there's no state requirement or geographical requirement to be in a chapter. You could join the chapter in Detroit, for example, or Kansas City or wherever else. So you can pick a chapter and join it. What are the benefits of joining the chapter? So there's a few of the things that you want to be able to do. Is, the one that I look at is I like to, what focuses on my career at this point is to really be able to share my experiences and give back. So this is one of the aspects that's most appealing to me within being in SMRP and participating in our chapter. Continually learning and gaining knowledge from the folks around. I mean, like I said, I learn things every day from people all around me. I've learned a lot. I've been really fortunate to be able to learn a lot, and the chapter gives me the opportunity to even gain more and to be able to get back to it. There's a lot of educational and networking opportunities. So we're planning on, like with our chapter, and there's a lot of the other chapters, that there's regular monthly, sometimes bi-weekly opportunities where there'll be, informational webinars or roundtables or a lot of other things. And with the expanding world of the video conferencing and web conferencing, that even gets to be more and more. We want to personally, from our chapter, we want to be able to have a mix of that and also the in-person stuff. So it's good that we're able to do some of that now. And then you can get experience with your leadership. You can get in and become leaders and hone your skills or learn some skills. And more importantly, we have fun and we get together and we team up. So those are some of the benefits of joining a chapter. So so chapters, have each individual chapter manages their own bylaws, regulations, things like that. They're all underneath the umbrella of SMRP, but each one is their own nonprofit, their own organization, so they get to make their own, in essence, their rules and dues and things like that to help pay for stuff. So who can join an SMRP chapter? These come specifically from the SMRP bylaws from the organizational perspective. Anybody that's an SMRP member in good standing, if your company happens to be an executive member company, you can join a chapter. Anybody who's a supplier member, and student members and honorary members can join chapters, but they're not eligible to vote. So you have to be full members of SMRP in some capacity to be able to vote and hold office. So NorCal chapter, at this point, we decided we weren't going to have any annual chapter dues. If we end up having any events that are that require some type of funding or some type of expense, and we'll probably ask the attendees to do their own. But at this point, we don't have any chapter dues, and because we really don't have any plans at this point to need chapter dues. So there's not a financial commitment for you to join our chapter. Come on in. Let's figure out where we want to go with this together. And if you're interested in any information on the NorCal chapter and get on our mailing list to stay informed, Caitlin from Upkeep is managing that. She's on our steering team and will be on our board, I'm sure. This is the link here, https://upkeep.typeform.com and all that stuff. So I'll be putting this presentation out on the Slack, or Heather will be putting it on the Slack. I'll give it to her so you can look this stuff up and go in there too, or maybe she'll put it in a message as well. So we're looking forward to getting that going very, very soon. As soon as we get the final approval, we'll be getting members for our chapter. But if you're a member of SMRP and you're not a member of a chapter, consider joining a chapter either with us or one of the other chapters. There's a lot of good ones out there. Opportunities within the chapter. These are just some specifics of those. The board of directors who guide guide the chapter and provide the direction and the strategies, and the officers within the board are the chair and the vice chair, the treasurer, secretary, and an immediate past chair. So you have a number of officers there. In addition to the officers and the board of directors, you have chapter committee chairs, and this is really where where things happen within SMR, within any trades association, but more importantly in SMRP, is in these committees. You have these committees that actually get their hands dirty and get the work done, whether it's membership and recruiting new members, or setting up and putting on events, or pulling in speakers and education opportunities. And there's many others. So there could be standards and documentation committee, standards committee. There could be other different things as the chapter sees fit. So we're looking forward to kind of identifying some of those. And if you have an area of interest, there's probably a chapter committee that you can take on and pull people in and help you out. So that's it. So I kind of wanted to hit it up, and I didn't spend too much of your time. I didn't want to blast a whole hour with presentation and things like that. I typically like to do these things more on a more of a discussion and an open basis. So if you have any questions or any discussion points, or just want to jump in, feel free.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Scott. I really enjoyed, the thorough overview and all those highlights of different benefits. It was really awesome to hear about. Just a quick recap of those poll numbers for you. We had about 40% of our attendees say they are currently a member of SMRP, but not a member of a chapter. And then 30% currently a member of the SMRP and a member of a chapter. And then 30% not currently a member of SMRP, but interested in joining. And nobody is not a member and not interested in joining. So.
All right.
Yeah. You're in the right place then.
Should we don't want to repoll now and see if I've changed anybody's mind in that one.
Yeah, I'll launch it right again.
All right. I think we're okay. That was a good one.
We did get a few questions coming in throughout the call here. One of those is it possible to join a chapter if you're not a member of the SMRP?
No, unfortunately. Well, if you're a student, actually, I think there's an honorary SMRP or student SMRP piece. That's really the only way. But you have to be an associated member of SMRP in some way, shape, or form. There is an honorary piece, but again, I don't know what the specifics are within SMRP. Yeah. So I mean, if there's more specific questions to that, or then you can reach out, to me specifically, and I can get with SMRP for you and find out. But no, that's part of it. It's kind of like you're an SMRP member and then you join in chapter. So that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, makes sense. A question here reads, I just joined the SMRP and I joined a local chapter, but it's not that active. Should I look at a more active chapter that's maybe larger?
So the recommendation I would give is one of two things. So if it's not an active chapter and you want to make it more of an active chapter, then there's probably opportunities to do that. If not, then SMRP gives you the ability. There's not a regional requirement or regional limitation on what chapter you belong to. I don't think I think you can join multiple. I think you have to pick a chapter, or you can pick a chapter when you join or rejoin SMRP. But I think if you reach out to chapters, I don't think there's a restriction where you can actually only be in one chapter. So you may want to see about being in another chapter. Like, for example, the Kansas City chapter so graciously made me an honorary member of their chapter. So I get to do that. So I think you pick one as like my primary, but you may be able to participate in others. And we're hoping that, whether it be Kansas City or some of the other chapters, we're hoping to have some joint chapter events as well. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Really cool. Next question here says, this is my first webinar after joining SMRP. I live in Saskatchewan, Canada. Which chapter should I join?
Oh boy, I mean, I'd say start one up there. No, I mean, you could actually join whichever one you want if you want to be able to research some of them. I mean, you can join any of them. I mean, obviously I'm going to give you I'll put on my hat now, my NorCal chapter. Join the NorCal chapter because we're new and we're fun, we're motivated, we're energetic. The only other one I've directly dealt with is the Kansas City chapter, which they're much more refined and they're fun as well. But they're great. They do a lot of great things there too. So you might want to look into them. I mean, I still will be on their mailing list and things like that. But those are really the only two I have a lot of direct knowledge and direct experience with. So you can go on the SMRP website and you can look at, there's links to some of the chapter sites. So, so feel free to do that, or even reach out to us or me, and then you can get on our mailing list and you can get our contact information and look as well. So I can't say specifically from Saskatchewan. It really depends on what you want to do. Since most of the stuff is virtual, I think any chapter probably would work.
Awesome. And then the last question we have already submitted, but if there's anyone else with any more questions, please feel free to throw those into the chat now. The last question we have here, do you know how many people get their CMRP every year?
No, that's a great question. I mean, and when we're planning on having our inaugural meeting of the NorCal chapter at the SMRP conference in St. Louis. So that's probably a good time to ask to find out. But I don't know for sure. I mean, I know there's 5,000. I don't know if they're how many are per year. If there's been, I mean, like I've had mine for quite a while. And I just get recertified, but I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that are interested and a lot of people take the test. So yeah, no, I wish I did, but I don't.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions we got in. I see Ahmed is typing. We'll give him one more moment just to finish. Oh yeah, he says, do you have any literature or websites to refer to in order to prepare for the CMRP?
Well, I believe it's been a while since I've taken the exam, but I believe within the SMRP website, they have prep materials within there. There's also in there, there's a couple of reference, in essence, reference books. Ramesh Gulati's book is a good one that I know a lot of people have used, and it's prepped them for it. I don't know of any. The one thing is, I mean, maybe I'm kind of, part of me, the educator side of me is thinking, maybe we should put on kind of a course based on that at some point. But at this point, I believe within the SMRP site, and like I said, I've heard a lot of people that have used the Ramesh Gulati book to do that, to learn that.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the same. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if there are no more questions out there, again, I'll stall for another moment just in case there are. I appreciate everyone joining us today. Scott, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to prep this presentation and then join us live today. The link to NorCal mailing is in the chat here, as well as a link to join the maintenance community, where you'll be able to find a copy of the slides probably tomorrow, maybe this afternoon, but probably tomorrow. Yeah, reach out if you have any other questions for Scott or myself, and I will see everyone next time.
Great. Thank you, everybody. And like I said, my contact information there, I'll put it back in the Slack. And if you have any questions or want to get more information on the NorCal chapter, let me know, or SMRP in general. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.